So the Eagles and the Rams played in the all-time classic. The Eagles win 33-26. They come from behind. They block 2 field goals. They edge out the Rams. And all you see is how ugly this win was for the Eagles. It wasn't an impressive game when you look at it from a box score standpoint. Jalen Hurts in the first half didn't even have over 100 passing yards. The offense just looked out of sorts. But all of a sudden, something just started to click. And the Eagles don't care about style points. Style points don't matter to Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts doesn't need to throw for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns every game. They don't need to blow out everybody 45-20 to know that they're the best team in the NFC and arguably the best team in the NFL right now. The Philadelphia Eagles, how they're winning games this year is the exact way that the Chiefs were winning games last year. It wasn't always pretty. A lot of games were close on most occasions. You had to just find a way to just survive in advance. And that's what championship teams do. Championship teams find ways to win games that they should lose due to them playing not their best football. But with good teams, they have something that I like to call the trapdoor ability. The trapdoor ability, anytime you allow a team like the Eagles or the Chiefs to hang around in the game and you don't finish them off, they find a way to come back and beat you. And that's what the Rams did in this game. They had ample opportunities to finish off the Philadelphia Eagles, and they were unable to get it done. And when you are trying to kick game-winning field goals on a team like Philadelphia, you're just asking to lose. I thought that Sean McVay should have went for it on 4th down. It's 4th down. Let's not try to win the game kicking the ball, because we know what happens when you put the game in the hands of these field goal kickers. They can't be trusted. Sean McVay is one of the greatest offensive minds in NFL history. Matthew Stafford is a borderline Hall of Famer. Put the ball in his hands and go out there and win the game. Don't just settle for a field goal. Go out there and win it. That's what people get wrong when they play the Eagles, when they play the Kansas City Chiefs. You keep thinking, oh, we're going to beat them with just a field goal, or we're going to beat them by punting on the football and our defense is going to stop them. No! You have to cut the chicken by the throat. You have to go and beat Philadelphia. You have to beat Kansas City. You have to knock them out. You have to go out and go up by 2 possessions with 2 minutes left to finish those teams off. You can't finish off the Eagles and the Chiefs by saying, we're going to kick a field goal and we're going to play defense. No. That's not how you beat a championship team. You got to go out there and you got to say, we're going to win this game. Not, we're going to hope we can win this game. That's what teams do when they try to kick field goals to beat Philadelphia or beat Kansas City or just rely on their defense to win. If you give Jalen Hurts or Patrick Mahomes an opportunity to win the game, they're going to do it, which is why you can't allow them to get an opportunity to get the ball in their hands. And you can't give them opportunities to beat you. Kicking field goals is allowing the Eagles an opportunity to beat you. Because field goals, there's just too much that comes down to luck and randomness. You can't leave some things up to chance. And beating the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs are one of those. You can't put your fate in the hands of a kicker that you're going to beat Kansas City, you're going to beat the Philadelphia Eagles and win the Super Bowl or survive in the playoffs. No, you got to go out there and beat these teams and literally beat them by not giving them an opportunity to win, by blowing them out or making it impossible for them to win. If the Rams go for it on that 4th down, instead of going for that first field goal attempt and they get that 1st down, you improve your chances of winning, because then you can continue to run down the clock, and then maybe you score. And maybe you don't get an opportunity to score a touchdown, and you still got to settle for another field goal. At least it's an easier field goal to make Anything that's 30 yards out or more, it's just too risky. If it's 4th and 3 or shorter, I have to go for it. I have to play for the win. You don't play to win by allowing these kickers who just have proven on so many occasions that they can't be trusted at all to win you a game. The Philadelphia Eagles just have, and I know this is cliche what I'm about to say, but they just have the heart of a champion. And Jalen Hurts, the Jalen Hurts disrespect has reached all-time levels. Yes, we know that Jalen Hurts isn't the most talented quarterback in the league. But what has happened to disrespecting good quarterbacks? What has happened to disrespecting guys like Jalen Hurts that just go out and win? It's not always pretty. It's not always the most impressive on the box score. But Jalen Hurts, no matter what you say about his impact on the Eagles' wins, the guy is able to do what a bunch of other quarterbacks in this league can't, and that's rise in the occasion in big moments in big games. Jalen Hurts is the most consistent big game quarterback in the NFL. No matter what, you know that Jalen Hurts is going to give you good quarterback play in every game that you play in. You know what you're getting out of Jalen. The standard is the standard of Jalen. You don't see too many odd performances from Jalen Hurts when he has 3 turnovers, 4 interceptions, 1 touchdown. There's not too many games that you can watch the Eagles lose and single out Jalen Hurts as the sole reason why the Eagles lost those games. Jalen Hurts, no matter how the stats may look, he's a lot better than what the stats show. Numbers lie. Nobody always likes to admit that. They say women lie, men lie, numbers don't. Numbers do lie. Because numbers can be deceiving if you use the numbers out of context. And very often, the stats are used against Jalen Hurts out of context. You want to use stats against Jalen Hurts to prove he's not an elite quarterback. But if you actually watch the games, which matters more, the eye test would tell you that Jalen Hurts is elite because he consistently shows up in the big moments. The things that stats don't show about Jalen Hurts are never used to show how elite he is. They're always used to support him being overrated or him being carried by a team that's well constructed. Why are we using the Philadelphia Eagles being a properly ran organization, being built the right way, as a knock against Jalen Hurts and how good he is? Isn't that the goal? To build the best team possible around your franchise quarterback so he can have success? But we make all these excuses for Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and other quarterbacks who haven't gotten it done. But yet we penalize Jalen Hurts for being able to get it done the way that every team wants to do it. Every team wants to win the Super Bowl the way the Philadelphia Eagles have, because that's the goal. To build through the draft, get good players in free agency, develop good players, and build a great overall championship caliber team. So why is it that we're using Jalen Hurts being in an ideal situation that every quarterback will want to be in as a knock against them? Just saying, it's a little stupid. Style points don't matter for the Eagles. Even though this game was a little ugly, this game just further shows why the Eagles are going to be back in the Super Bowl again. This is going to be their 3rd Super Bowl in the last 4 years for a reason, because they're able to win games like this. What the Eagles did against the Rams is something that the Ravens should learn from, because what the Eagles did to beat the Rams is what the Ravens are unable to do to get Lamar Jackson over the hump in the playoffs. And that's actually be able to rise to the occasion. Everybody being able to make the big plays in the big moments. Not making plays that cost your team in a big moment. And that's what the Eagles do so well that the Ravens are unable to do in the playoffs. The Eagles don't hurt themselves in big moments. They don't have big drops. like Mark Andrews had with that 2-point conversion. They don't forget to give the ball to their elite running back, like how the Ravens did with Derrick Henry last year at times in the playoffs. And they don't put everything on Jalen Hurts' shoulders. They don't say, hey, Jalen, go win us the game, like how the Ravens do with Lamar Jackson in the playoffs. This game that the Eagles just won against the Rams is why they continue to have success in the postseason, why Jalen Hurts has a ring, and why Lamar Jackson doesn't. Lamar's the more talented of the two players, but he's on a team that self-destructs in big moments. The Eagles don't. They rise to the occasion in big moments. They are able to deliver with the game on the line. The Ravens don't. They find a way to fold when the game is on the line. The Ravens can learn some things from the Eagles' 33-26 win over the Rams.